Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dr. Quack House Calls. I'm Dr. Quack, and today we've got a special guest. I know we are on early this morning, but we have got the man himself, the unified heavyweight champion of PPF, ladies and gentlemen, the Rising Sun.
Hi.
Welcome.
It was only a matter of time before you knew who needs to show up on your show.
That I knew, definitely. It's great to have you on, champ. How we doing this morning?
I'm up early to give people what they want. They want to see me here, so I just show up. Told you I'm obligated to show up. That's what it means to be unified champion. So here I am.
Definitely. I actually got a few questions here. I can't show them because they're on my other page. They don't show up, but I'll ask them. This is from old school. Because I'm driving and listening, what's your favorite match you had and greatest influence in the promo world?
My favorite match in the promo world? It would probably be my cat. If I had to bring it up, and it's just not because it would probably not even be my debut. It would probably be when we were in LPW, which was Dale's group at the time, and me and another brother finally did a tag team, and we went for the tag titles. Me and Aladonis created Sixes Inc., and we went through the tournament, and we became the LPW tag team champions. We never lost them, and we submitted ourselves as the most dominant tag team. But influence-wise, I mean, of course, you got old school because he did this for so long, and then, I mean, there's a guy that talked me into doing this that I don't talk to no more, so I got to give him a little bit of a thank you because without him trying to get me to come here, I wouldn't have ever did it. I'd always watch school do this and be like, why is he doing it? There's no point. And then when I got talked into it, I'm like, you know what? I'll try it. I debuted. I'll tell you, when I first debuted and I was picking on Malice about it during our hypes and all, I mean, I was greener than him. I never did it before, but the judges loved me at the time, and then I just built myself all the way up to where I am now.
Oh, and here's one more I'm going to ask this before I get into some of my questions. Who is also someone you have zero to do with in the promo world?
Zero to do with? I got a list. I got a list. I mean, to be honest, I only have a small circle of people I talk to, and that's mainly people in the HHE and majority of people in PPF because, well, to be honest, every time I venture out, it doesn't matter where I go. Like, when we met Malice and his group, I think it was called LTW or something like that. I mean, everybody wants the top guys to come to their groups, and the only problem is if we come in as the top guys, the top heels, everybody bitches and complains because we run through your roster, we take the championships, and then they say it's a setup. But sorry, I hate to break it to you all, this isn't the Rising Sun right here. This is Junior. I don't do kayfabe shit. I come in and I do what I do. I don't need no one to hand me a damn title because, well, they want their group to be relevant. I will smoke y'all's best guys. Here, and I know one of your questions is coming up about a war between a certain group in here, but
we can talk about that now if you want. Yeah, I'm curious. The war with BTB, how did that all start, and what is going on with that?
Well, before we answer that question, I'll enlighten you. So, their top guy, well, was their top guy before he got replaced. His name was Mr. Entertainment. And this is the Rising Sun talking to Mr. Entertainment if he so happens to watch this. Every time I called your ass out, you ran. Because you thought you were the best of the best, right? Well, I've offered when I was the junior heavyweight champion, I'd put the title on the line against you. When I was the unified champion, I'd put it against you. But you kept running. And now you wonder why BTB replaced you. You can run as a heel if you want, but you can't run with the top heels. But the war between BTB and PPF, well, they came to the realization that, well, when BTB reopened, they thought the fire was there and they'd be able to overcome the promo world until they met the Premier Promo Federation. And with, well, me as the unified champion. Then you have Double A as the junior heavyweight champion, the Gunslinger as the Resolute champion. I could go so on and so on. I mean, we even have Dr. Quack now.
Yeah. Ah. Think we lost you there. We lost audio. Can't hear you. Okay, he'll be back in a second. But yeah, I mean, he'll be right there. But Old School, yes, is the BTB World Heavyweight Champion as well. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of heavy hitters over in the PPF, definitely. While we're waiting for him to come back on, if you got any questions, by all means, put them up here. Oh, here he comes. I figured he was coming back.
You back? Sorry, phone call happened. People don't know how to leave me alone.
I know.
But the war between PPF and BTB, it's all because of the BTB's egos. They can't let the past die. You see, I don't know if they remember this. I haven't shown my face in BTB since they reopened, other than doing a live with my brother, Brett Jacobs. But, hey, BTB, I was your last native states champion. I was never beat. So, the war that you all so desperately want between PPF and BTB, well, I'll bring the Native States Championship to PPF, and none of your sorry-ass competitors over there can take it from me.
Yeah, I mean, Old School is the BTB heavyweight champion right now, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. That's interesting. Who is all in HHE? Can you tell us that for the viewing audience?
HHE consists of myself, Old School, Double A Aladonis. You got Malice. You have Cody Bentley, which is the cryptic one, or Cody, or he has multiple characters, but a great talent. You have Brett effing Jacobs, the best that's have ever done the promos. And then, of course, you have the gunslinger, Tommy Ford. And I'm pretty sure that's everybody in the HHE that I can... Because we don't really let a whole lot of people in. Malice is the only really new guy that we took in and really...
You just had a match with him. How did that go for you psychologically, taking on someone in your own group?
Really, I don't mind it. Because when I face someone in the HHE, I know I have competition. I know they're going to try their best. I mean, hell, after I relinquished the PPF heavyweight title to 7, I took a stint off, and then I said, you know what, I've done everything I needed to do for the time being, so I'm just going to sit on the sidelines and not worry about promos. I got shit going on. And then Brett took the belt and ran for like a year, and then they called me, and they're like, you want to match with Brett? You should have a rematch clause, and we think it'd be good for the business. I came back. Me and Brett tore the house down. And then he kind of took some time off and came back, and he won the Pure Championship. So, I mean, when it comes to facing HHE members, it's really nothing personal. But there's extents to it that I have that I won't do. And Malice being new in HHE, it was nothing personal against him. It's just strictly business. But once the match was over, we congratulated each other, and, well, we're good to go. HHE's dominant. We're not going to let nothing get in our way. These things, it's just what it is. It's just championships.
But your tag partner, Double A there, has the golden ticket to your title. Does that affect you at all?
No, because PPF already knows. They might have rewarded him a golden ticket. We ain't going to face each other.
You're not. So is he going to hold on to that until, I guess, maybe you drop it if that ever happens?
The only time that I foresee anything is if and when he's done with the junior division. If he feels like he's ready, if he wants this title, I'll give it to him. I'm not facing my brother. They tried it before. I will not face Double A Aladonis. Alex, I love him to death. He is my brother. I will not face him, and I will not face Old School. We did that match one time, that one time only, and they will never get it again.
How did that go down, you and Old School?
So funny thing was, it was in Jacob and Cody's group that they started, which is long gone, which, hey, it is what it is in the promo world. Some groups strive and some groups fail, but it wasn't nothing on Cody and Jacob's part. RPA was a great place, but they did a tournament for the heavyweight championship, and it came down to me and Old School. But at the time, my head was kind of filled because I was a tag team champion in another group with some guys that I don't care to really. They are who they are. Which I'll
Understand.
touch on that when we go to the PPF thing, and it kind of touches on Old School's question of who I don't fuck with in the PPF or the
Okay.
promo world. But yeah, I was kind of tag champion there, so I kind of let my ego get a hold of it. Like, fuck it, I don't need to be the top guy of a company when I'm a tag champion. I got to face because I don't. You don't see me going group to group to hold championships and compete every day. That's not me. I win championships and I show up on my own time. And that's one thing about the Rising Sun that's different from everybody else. Old School, he's a defending champion. He'll show up every damn day like he was an HSP. And I mean, he's the Pure Heart champion over there, I
Yes, he
believe.
is currently the Pure Heart champion.
And he's a fighting champion, so he'll show up whenever he damn well pleases. Me, as the unified champion of PPF, if an opponent strikes my interest, I'll show up more than I need to. But to me, it just draws out the factor of the championship and the match. I'll drop a couple hypes here and there, and that's why I tried to get a point across to Malice when we were doing the match. I was like, dude, I'm not dropping all these hypes because it's going to take off the factor of the surprise of us facing each other. I mean, I'm glad that he did what he did because it built on his character. But for the Rising Sun, I told him in my last type, this is the last one you're getting from me until match time. And Malice, I hate to tell you, I know you're going to watch this later, but I was so going to do some dickish promo, but I decided against it just to do a regular promo. Since I'm so close to West Virginia, I was so going to drive the car over, but with car troubles and all, I couldn't do it. I was going to drive across the bridge where it said "Welcome to West Virginia." I was going to cut a promo in your fucking hometown, but I said, you know what? I got to just stick with my gut right now. But that's here and there. I come up with some creative ideas, but I don't like doing outside the house stuff. It's just not me.
Biggest mistake you see promo artists make?
Going out of their comfort zone. Because if you're out of your comfort zone, then you're going to stumble. You're not going to be able to do anything. Like, there for the longest time, I would not go live. I hated going live because, well, if you go live and you fuck up, then, well, it's there. You can't fix it unless you're like a Brett Jacobs who will catch it mid-sentence and then redo it, which it's the little stuff that I can point out. Like, when we're going over promos and I watch it, I'm like, I fucked up there. I got to go recut it. Now, if I was live, that's a different scenario. Then I can't recut it.
Right. So let's get into that. How did PPF get started? Go ahead.
This is the one. I mean, PPF started when some things happened in BTB. So, Old School, myself, and there was two other guys that, well, yeah, these two I don't fuck with in the promo world, and they're nowhere to be found now.
Okay.
Rick Bickle and Scotty Newland.
Yep, never heard of those guys.
Be glad you didn't, because, well, they're just not fucking bright at all. So we open PPF. We get a couple guys in from BTB that wanted to follow us. So we had like Chris, like Chuck Norris, Jarvis, which was the chef, and we had a couple more. And at the time, I wasn't promoing. I didn't feel like it, so I said, you know what? Let the tournament be these guys for the heavyweight title and the junior title. We created all the title designs, which, if you look at the old PPF title designs, they were based off WCW titles.
Mm-hmm.
Which, when it came to the tournament, I ain't going to lie to no one. We were sitting there and we were watching it, and then when they crowned Scotty as the first ever PPF heavyweight champion, that was all rigged by Rick. Because, well, it came down to Scotty and Chris, like Chuck Norris. And Chris will tell you, as well as me, Old School, anybody will tell you, Rick is the most racist son of a bitch you will ever meet.
Mm.
His biggest thing was he didn't want his belt to smell like weed.
Oh, wow.
And that was his exact words. I mean, if I could pull up the old chats with everybody, yeah. And then that's when everything started going. And
South.
then when me and School saw that, I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna really mess with this too much, so I'll just sit back and let y'all do your thing. And that's when School got the message from everybody from BTB to come back there. So he high rolled from there, and everybody else that followed us, except for Rick and Scotty, of course. We went back to BTB, and then Rick and Scotty kind of merged the original PPF with like the Arts of Wrestling or whatever it's called, and they brung people in and did their own little shit. Which when they were running PPF, it didn't last. And then me and School got it back in our control, and now we are where we are. We reopened with just a small amount of guys, and now we're at where we're at, and it's just a better feeling knowing Rick and Scotty don't have their hands in this shit no more.
And that makes a lot of sense. You know, and there's been an uprise lately in promo groups. How do you feel about that?
The more promo groups, I mean, it's. I can't say it's for the better because you got all these groups opening up, but if you go look, it's mostly the same people in every other group. They open it's just different admins because, well, let's be honest. If your buddies are opening a group, you go over there, you win championships. You know why? Because they promised to you. Sorry, kayfabe is a bitch, and guess what? I don't do kayfabe, so that's why I stick with PPF, and I don't really venture out because I don't like kayfabe.
Right.
But when they get the championship, their buddies are like, "Hey, it'd be cool if you opened a group and then made championships, and then we could be champions." And that's what happens. All these groups open; they're all buddies in circles, and they all hand off titles because they kayfabe to each other. Sorry, but your group will fail in a month or less. The nostalgia of a new championship doesn't mean your group's going to last. And if you had the HHE come in and we lost to a kayfabe group, you really don't think we'd call your dumbasses out? It's just that. Sorry, I don't. When I ventured out to Revolution and I lost to a guy that has a fucking baseball bat and he's talking about shoving it up people's asses and shit, it made no sense to me. Your group was a failure from the start. And when you announced the championship and a guy already had his side plates made for the belt before the tournament even ended, kayfabe. Sorry. Matt Anarchy, you suck dick, motherfucker. You suck. You
Well,
don't have nothing. When y'all came over to LPW with me and Double A was the tag team champions, the Hooded Warriors, you bitches ran because you know y'all wasn't beating us because it wasn't kayfabed. Fuck you all.
well, I got a question here from David Babel. What's the biggest difference between PPF and other promo groups?
Babel, I'll be straight with you. Our judges don't give a shit who the champions are. They don't give a fuck who's in the matches. They watch them or they listen to them. Half the time when they listen to them, they listen to see if anybody messes up compared to other groups that have like score sheets. I mean, I don't know if you remember, David, but when PPF reopened and we had a guy with us on the admin team, they did scorecards. You see, that's not a factor no more. Our judges, compared to everybody else, are non-biased. They don't give two shits if I'm the champion. They don't give two dams if you're a champion, Babel. We're the most unbiased group there is. The other groups, I hate to say it, but again, if their buddies wants to be champion, they're going to message the judges and tell them to go in favor of their people. If you want to be a champion, go find one of your buddies' groups. Because I'm sorry, but PPF will never be like that. I will never allow PPF to be a fucking kayfabe group. Because, well, kayfabe just takes the fucking fun out of it. It's cool if you go behind the scenes with your opponent and do a storyline like set. Because I'm not on this match card, so I can do this. So let's just say I have a match with you, Babel, and we go behind the scenes and we talk it out. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done as champion. I don't want to do this no more. I don't have to tell no one. You seen it when I was facing Seven as the PPF heavyweight champion. I came on screen, we did our little spiel, and I was like, you know what? I'm done with it. Here you go. I handed the belt off to him. It's a respect thing for me. I just don't. I don't see the point of all these people opening groups because it's just the same rhetorical bullshit that we see everywhere else, and we're about to see it again in BTB. I'm sorry to tell you. This war between PPF and BTB, they can bring their best of the best. They can bring Mr. Entertainment, they can bring Conceited, they can bring the Forsaken, they can bring anybody they want. Because I'll bring myself, Double A, the Gunslinger, I'll bring all the PPF champions. Because let's be honest, BTB don't have champions right now other than Old School. He's the only champion that they consider still a champion.
He's touring in Japan, right? That's what I heard last.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But BTB don't have HHE. They don't have mostly anybody that's important to me. So they can go to war if they want, but they'll lose the war. TRP, BTB, y'all's the same group. Y'all just trying to find a new champion in TRP that can try to beat Old School, but you don't have no one that can do it. And your top guy, Mr. Entertainment, don't like you all no more because y'all want to kiss Conceited's ass. Sorry, but guess what? When it comes to Mr. Entertainment or Conceited, I'd rather take a bullet in between my eyes because they both fucking suck.
Tommy Ford's got a comment here. I've been that person to be in 76 plus groups, and it's a hassle because not only is it draining, but remembering the due dates of each group is difficult to do.
And that's the thing. When you're in, like Tommy said, when he's in X amount of groups, what happens when they all line up with a due date that's the same day? Then you're going to go back and watch all your promos, and they're going to line up and be exactly the damn same. It's like, well, I didn't mean it to do it, but that's how it happened. Sorry. Stay where you're at. Perfect the craft that you're doing. I didn't become champion overnight. I've worked my way through the bottom to the very top. From when I started in BTB, I took losses after losses. I ain't ashamed to say it. And, well, there was one match in BTB that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but hey, it happens. We all don't get where we come from. We all get humbled every once in a while, and I think that was my humbling moment. But after that match, it was a whole different story. I couldn't be touched because I knew at the time I should have been the 24 champion, but they didn't see it that way. But it is what it is. I don't care for it. So, BTB, you could do what you want. PPF's still going to strive without you guys. We've been here for years on, and you all just reopened, and your fire's almost already out. I'll extinguish that motherfucker as quick as it happens.
Didn't other groups come from BTB? Didn't they go other places? Like, didn't VOH come from there?
See, that's the thing. I can't really get into that because, well, I wasn't around when
you weren't around at that point. Okay, that's what I was trying to make sure I understood.
I came when I first started. I mean, what group was it? I want to say when I started, that's when most of them bounced out and made like fire promos or something.
Yeah,
Jimmy Warner and everybody
just said yes to that one.
I can't remember, but I wasn't around for the VOH days. It wasn't me, but I love VOH. Don't get me wrong. Chris Nichols, all their work over there is phenomenal. I watch all their stuff, but I don't. Like I said, I don't want to crowd my schedule up with PPF, VOH, and all of them. Eventually, maybe down the line, if Chris Nichols is there and wants me there, I may go over. But
I think he retired from presidency. It's now Brandon Seeger, I believe.
Yeah, I talked to Nichols on almost like I talked to him a couple weeks ago, but it was something completely different from VOH. But that's later down the line. So
right. You never know. I want to get into the card here, though, coming up for Thanksgiving. I want to get your thoughts. Let's talk, the Legacy taking on the Law.
All right. So, Legacy versus the Law. Legacy has come a long way from when I first saw him, and the Law has came a hell of a long way. I mean, I don't give praises too much, but the guys came a long way. And Dale, Captain Law Litton, I mean, when he opened LPW and all, and we all joined up, we just tore his roster apart. We beat him so many times, but he has actually came back. I mean, I know he has been, his lifestyle and what he's doing outside of the promo groups is different. And, like, we all don't talk about backyard wrestling and stuff that's out there, but that's his business. I'm glad he's happy doing it, but hey. But his promo style came a long way, and that match is going to be something to watch because if Legacy comes out like Legacy does, then him and Dale will kill the card for sure.
Okay. Resolute title. Now you got the big triple threat. You got Dax Snow. Uh, I'm sorry. Malice,
Dak,
and you got
Malice,
Tommy out there as well. Tommy Ford, the champ.
and yeah. See, again, you have two HHE members going at it, but with one bystander. I feel sorry for Dak in this match. I mean, Dak can hold his own. I faced him before multiple times. Dak is one of those opponents that is can stand on his own 2 feet without anybody being by his side. And then you have the Gunslinger, which is the current Resolute champion that does the damn thing, and when he's locked and loaded, he can't be touched. But they have to worry about Malice now. Malice is coming off a defeat that sucks because this is the second time he went for the unified title and came up short. So that match, I'd be watching Malice very, very closely.
Yeah, I think that one might be the match of the night to keep an eye on. That's a big one there. One of them.
I don't know about matches of the night, but I got other things we'll talk about.
We'll keep going into it. Yeah, we got the Unhinged Babel taking on
Sheamus.
Yeah, Sheamus. Excuse me.
See, my thing is, I've always told Babel, if he brings the Unhinged back like he did in BTB, it'd be a whole different outcome for anybody he faced. Because, well, I've seen a little bit of like the John Moxley style promo and everything in the Dean Ambrose, but he needs to stick with one style of promoing. I get Babel has influences of like the Undertaker, Bray Wyatt, and all that, but I'm gonna be honest with you, Babel. Dark characters don't work for you. I'm just gonna be a straight shooter with you. Your best bet, Unhinged. Unleash that character and decimate. You could take out Sheamus if you stick with it. But if you try to do the dark rhetorical shit, I'm telling you right now, Sheamus will have your number.
They've been battling a little bit on the page.
Yeah, and Babel dropped one hell of a hype, and so did Sheamus. Like I said, they perfect the craft. They will do it. But I'm telling you right now, Babel, if you stick with the unhinged, you will come out on top against Sheamus. But if you go to the dark shit, Sheamus is going to beat you.
Yeah, and then we got the main event, the junior heavyweight
You're missing
title.
the match.
Huh?
You're missing a match before the main event.
What match am I missing?
The Pure Heart Championship. It's Jay Sick versus Brett Jacobs.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that is not on there. Go ahead, by all means.
Jay Sick is one hell of an opponent, and I actually owe him a match for the unified title because, well, as most know, when that match was supposed to happen between me and Jay, me and him talked behind the scenes. My wife, at the time, we were just dating and all, and she had a house fire, and I was bringing her over to my house, getting her all settled in and all, and I really didn't have time to promo. And then match cards showed up, and of course, everybody in HHE was like, hey, match card, you need to drop a promo because or they'll strip you of the title. I wasn't thinking it was on me, and I take all the blame on it, Jay. And I have nothing but love for Jay Sick, nothing but love. But that was on me. I just dropped the promo, not thinking. But I owe him a match later down the line, which I'll get with whoever I need to about that, and we'll work something out. But this match for the Pure Heart Championship will be something special because Jay is one hell of a promo artist. I've faced him many of times. I faced him when he was actually in a group called The Faction with him, his brother. I forget what they were going by. I know it was called The Faction. Stunning G, Jay Sick, and Gary Sack. I can't remember if I'm forgetting somebody. I apologize if I am. But Jay, if you just do what you do, brother, you can put up a fight against Brett, but you don't have no easy task. You know, you've been watching Brett since BTB, and Brett is undeniable. Much love, though, Jay. You know, it's nothing but love over here, brother.
Definitely. You want to go into the match here? You're talking about the junior heavyweight title. 3 minutes, no DQ, double A in the man.
See, I wish I could tell you all what's planned. I wish I could, but I'm telling you now, if y'all go back and watch those little bit of lives that me and Brett did, I threw a little hint of something that's going to be happening very soon. So, I hope they're ready. Because I'm telling you right now, when it comes to Chris like Chuck Norris, the man, I don't know what he's going to come out as. And I mean, no disrespect by this, Chris, and I don't want you to get.
Somebody probably called in here. He'll be right back, I'm sure. Give him a second here. Yeah, definitely big card Thanksgiving coming up. I think a week after Thanksgiving. Make sure you check that out. Definitely got a lot of big matches on there. Just waiting to see if he's coming back. I imagine he will. If you got any other questions, by all means, ask him here. I'm just waiting here. He'll probably be back in just a second. Yeah, I love when people call you out of blue. Probably those 1-800 numbers, those bill collectors or somebody else. God knows I get them. I understand that. There he is.
People just keep calling.
That's what I figured. I knew it.
It's ridiculous. But as I was saying, Chris Norris, when it comes to you and the man, I personally think you're better off as Chris like Norris because you're a little bit heavy of a hitter, but you're not heavy hitter enterprise material. Sorry to tell you. I mean, you're facing my brother, the baddest of the bad. You're facing Double-A Alan Adonis in a no DQ 3-minute match. That's going to be a hard task to complete. The winner, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be Double-A. That's not a prediction. It's not a spoiler. It's just the damn facts. Because I'm not going to let my brother go out easy. Yeah, I'm telling you, Chris, like Chuck Norris, when it comes to HHE, we'll make sure he keeps the belt. You'll see when I tell you something magical is going to happen that night.
I am definitely intrigued on that. I got a couple quick fire questions before we go. Any advice for anybody getting into the promo world?
Anybody getting into the promo world, just all I can tell you right now, sit back before you drop a promo. Go through the page that you're in and just watch everybody. Watch how they're doing it. Watch the little things that they do. Because like Malice said, in the group chat after the announcements, he cracked the joke because I brung the sunglasses back during that match. He said it was the damn sunglasses that beat me, wasn't it? It's just little things that you need to pay attention to. Don't stumble. Don't go too fast. You want to get your point across, you can do it fast, but I promise you're going to mess up the first couple times. It sucks to learn how to promo, but as long as you can talk shit, you can promo.
And since we're in Halloween here, what's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, that's easy. Michael Myers, Halloween, all day.
Halloween. Definitely a good pick. Well, I want to thank you for coming on here, Rising Sun. Thank you for coming out here, answering some questions. I'm Dr. Quack, and next week, tomorrow, I will be having superstar Steve Stardom. We're going to be talking some wrestling about his career in the 80s, 90s. We're going to talk to him, and we'll see you next time.